Yes, yes, I know you can't see me. That's a good thing. You have to make me promise that if you can see me, you'll make this picture small. I wanted to address a question that I've been back and forth with on the channel because I just made a phone call and talked to an expert and got an answer. So here's the short answer. When wheat, well, the person on the channel wanted to know, um, they had they had heard that it was difficult to make decent wheat bread out of home ground 100% wheat flour. Take your wheat kernels and throw them in a grinder or a flour mill and make your own flour, or make your own flour and then make your own bread with the flour. Okay, I'm getting tongue tied already, but I've been trying to get on this video thing for quite a while, and I'm just going to push through this here. Okay, here is the deal. I learned several things today. I have been having a nightmare of a time for decades trying to make 100% whole wheat bread, and I couldn't understand why. And I said in an earlier video that there was a lady at church, younger mother, who had made lovely, beautiful bread, and I finally sent her some of my wheat, and she tried to make lovely, beautiful bread with my wheat, and it didn't work. Finally got the answer, which is very strange to me because this is not anything I've seen, heard, or whatever. But apparently, if you buy wheat that has been stored at too high a temperature before you get it, the high temperature will actually destroy the protein in the wheat grain. Now, I don't know if that means it can or cannot be used by your body, but it destroys its ability to make gluten. And gluten is the stretchiness that you get in the dough. When gluten is properly developed in bread dough, you're able to really stretch it and pull against it pretty tightly. So at any rate, he told me that it actually destroys it and that you will not get a good loaf of bread. Well, that was good news to me, but then that kind of leaves you between a rock and a hard place because what you have to do is you have to get some of the wheat that you intend to buy. And then you need to do a couple things with it. You need to either try to make bread and see what kind of results you get. You can see if the gluten develops by making what they call a gluten ball, which is like you can mix up dough. You only need a little bit of it, and then you take the bread dough and you put it in a little dish of water, and you knead it in the water, and the starch comes out of the dough. I'm trying to keep this short here. And you continue to do that and change the water, and that's how they used to make at least a kind of a homemade TVP meat substitute. And if what you end up with is a gummy ball, that's good because shows that the gluten developed. You are probably going to want to try to make bread with it. Now, if you have wheat that won't make good bread, you can always grind it up and make muffins or pancakes or things that don't require. See, the gluten, a lot of you already know the gluten structure causes the loaf to rise and it holds the air bubbles where they are until the bread bakes, and so you have lighter, fluffier bread. I have made a decent loaf of bread with all 100% hard white wheat once, and I think it was with a Bosch mixer. Now there are other things that factor into this, but that was the main thing that he had to tell me on the telephone. He also told me that freeze-dried products, some of them will keep much better than air-dried products, and there's some science behind that. The foods that are packaged with oxygen absorbers, the wheat should still germinate, he said, should still grow. I think where my notes are here. If he said anything else. Less than 1% oxygen in the cans that are sealed with an oxygen absorber. Let's see. Destroys the protein. He said that it's not a good idea to buy baking mixes like a pancake mix that already has the leavening in it, because the job of leavening is to create gas, and he said sooner or later it will and cause a problem. Could cause the failure of the can, which is why the pancake mix is sold only for short-term storage specifically and not for long-term storage. Now, having said that, if you have questions, please let me know, and I will try to get more specific answers for you. He said that all the wheat that's out there is hybridized, and he's going to send me much more information on email as well as links. There are places on BYU. I think it is edu. I have to look it up, but the BYU website, there are places that you can get a lot of very technical information. So having said that, I think I'm going to leave this alone for right now because I didn't address it, but I wanted it to. You can improve the texture of your bread in a number of ways. Vitamin C is one, which is ascorbic acid. Whey powder is one. Milk powder is one. Potato water that you drain off your mashed potatoes. I tried to save mine from Thanksgiving, but I wasn't doing too well, and I used to have all kinds of it in the freezer. Potato water for making boiled potatoes or mashed potatoes. But potato water, that's the water drained off of boiled potatoes, is wonderful to help with your texture of your bread. A lot of the dough conditioners, there's a separate video on dough conditioners, are made with gluten. You can buy, the gluten is the protein part of the wheat, and you can buy the gluten separately and add it into your bread to help it. So whey, ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, gluten, lecithin, potato water, potato flakes. There's a number of things that you can put in your bread. Some people put vitamin E in it, vitamin E capsules. So I'm going to leave it right there for the time being. I'm sure I didn't do it justice, but the bottom line is you really need to test the wheat first and then keep it. Don't put it in your garage. He said don't store it in your garage. Keep it someplace cool. Now, some of you are probably going to say you've had great results, and I'd be happy to hear anything anybody has to say because we can all learn from it. But this is what I was told, and so this is what I'm going to pass on to you today. And just encourage you to keep learning, because nobody has ever said this to me in 40 years. I've never heard this ever. All I know is that I've had one heck of a time trying to make bread. Finally gave my wheat to somebody who makes great bread. She said, oh, she must have done something wrong because it didn't work. And I said, no, honey, you didn't do anything wrong. It's the wheat. So be careful. Buyer beware. God bless your efforts to prepare. Make a list. Check it twice so you can eat more than just beans and just rice. Bye.